job. Honestly, Explore Talent. I got a thing for a new hit show. Didn't know much of what it was about. I sent my resume and headshot in, and 45 minutes later, I was flown out to LA. Shot at Love Tila Tequila was a hit show. 6.7 million viewers, biggest show on MTV. Found out about it through ExploreTalent.com.
You know, I was in pageants, and through pageantry, I won a trip to LA and signed with an agent, and then kind of worked from there. But I did extra work for a really long time, and then I got one word, and then I got one line, and then I got a part. So work hard and a lot of discipline and a lot of classes and perseverance.
I auditioned out of 5,000 children worldwide. Yeah,
5,000?
and
Wow.
I came from New Zealand, so they just came down and they had an interview, kind of like this. They called me back 3 months later and said, "You got the job."
That was
So
it.
yeah, I always said I was a kid that prayed the most, but I don't know. There was some little spark in my eye or something that day that just helped me to get the part. So
Yeah.
that's
So
really how it went.
you were prepared when you went in for that, right?
Not really. I was prepared to be myself, which was an outgoing, energetic person, but I wasn't expected, for Star Wars,
So how was it being on the set of Star Wars?
It was amazing. I mean, as a 13-year-old kid, you can't have no better experience than hanging out with all these famous people, and being able to say, hey, you want to fly spaceships today? You want to go and blast, a Jedi? You want to see droids? Like, I was a kid with a big imagination, so being able to see all that stuff, with the blue screen and green screen was really cool.
Well, I guess I would have to say as far as TV goes, I was on a reality show. I won ABC's True Beauty. It was produced by Ashton Kutcher and Tyra Banks. And it was such an amazing show to win because we were under the impression we were being judged on our outer beauty, but we were actually being judged on our inner and outer beauty. So it was all about character, and that was my first big break.
I actually was going to school in Toronto, and I was discovered on the subway by a modeling agent. And I quickly went from modeling to acting, and then I quit acting. So it was it was a fluke. It was one of those fluke things. I was working, going to school, and then part of the time working in an advertising agency.
I was really lucky. I went down to be Kirsten Dunst's body double when I was 17, and I was too tall, so they let me audition for a role, and I got the role and got my SAG card and moved to LA like 6 months later. So it's things kind of just went in place for me. So it was I'm not going to say easy. I worked my butt off, but the opportunities definitely presented themselves.
I came out to Hollywood. I was modeling before for about 10 years, and I just was ready for something new. I was ready for something different, and literally prayed. I was like, Lord, where do you want me? What should I go do? And came out to LA to visit a friend of mine, and my modeling agent called and said, you need to go out and read for this part in this movie. And I'm severely dyslexic, so for me to read, I was very nervous, needless to say. And anyway, I ended up doing it, and it just, the ball started rolling from there, and I got the acting bug, and I haven't been able to kind of shake it since.
I think I would say Ugly Betty. The producer is starting to say, oh, look, he looks good on camera, likes it. And then it took time, and then I obviously got Sex and the City, and then it was more like an international break. So from there, the rest is what it is.
I got started this crazy business when I moved to Los Angeles, California, standing around in a dance studio, and somebody asked me to come in and teach a class because the teacher was late. By that teacher being late, I went in and taught the class. I took over that class, and 15 years later, I'm on America's Best Dance Crew as a judge. So you think you could dance as a judge and choreographer, doing Broadway, producing TV shows, producing artists, doing my thing, and that's just the beginning. You come to audition, just give it all you got. That's all I can tell you. Give it all you got. Do not be shy. Do not be scared. Give 100% and be original. You know what I mean? Do something that we've never seen before, and just know when you walk in the door that you got the audition. Can't nobody take that away from you.
So I actually started in a very small TV market, majored in marketing, but started out in TV sales, and they asked me to do some cut-ins on the weekend, and so I started doing some on-air stuff, and from there I got a job in a bigger market. From there I was called by an agent, and then went to work in Miami and Hard News there, and then that was for NBC, and eventually that led me to Access Hollywood. The first thing I I ever did was reality, America's Next Top Model. It was the first season 6 years ago. Actually did it when I was in college. I was actually in college in Wisconsin, and I got a call from just a friend of mine saying that there was this new show called America's Next Top Model that Tyra Banks was doing. And I was studying for finals, and I'm like, you know what, I'll just do a videotape and send it in. And I sent in my videotape, and I think they lost it first. The producer called me and said, you have to send another one. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So maybe they're considering me. And then I got another call, and it was from Tyra Banks. And I thought it was my friends messing with me the first time. And Tyra called me, and she said, you know what? She goes, you know, I'm sorry that you didn't make it. And I'm like, what are you talking? Why? I don't even know what's going on at this point. I'm like studying for finals. I'm all, you know, being prepared for, like trying to graduate. And I'm like, well, if you don't mind me asking, why are you calling me to tell me this? And is this really Tyra Banks? And she goes, girl, she's like, it's really Tyra Banks, and I'm just messing with you. She goes, pack your bags, you're going to LA. And I'm like, get out of here. I'm like, and before that, I had someone call me, a producer of the show, and they told me to rent a video camera and put it by the phone because someone important was going to call me. And they told me to press record right before the phone rings, and it was Tyra Banks, and they caught it all on video.
I was actually doing set design in college, and I was recruited to be in a play in school at Carnegie Mellon University, which is a professional theater school. And then I went to New York after there and started working. You know, once you commit to a job, it's the only thing I've ever really known how to focus on as a profession. Well, actually, I've been doing some other things too, but it's just instinctual for me. I kind of have to do it, and I have to work at it until I feel like I'm going to be the best I could possibly be, and hopefully, you know, better than the next guy that's trying to get the same part. So for me, it's almost like sports sometimes. I kind of like Larry Bird works on foul shots, or used to. You know, you got to put in more hours, I feel like, than you think the next guy is doing, and just because you want to be that much more prepared. It's all about a lot of it's preparation for me, you know, for me. Some people don't have to work that hard. I don't work as hard as much anymore, but in the old days I just used to, you know, just lock myself in a room until I knew the material backwards and forwards.
Well, I started acting in high school, and that kind of brought me out to California. Kind of started off in dancing and then modeling, and then had always been focusing on acting, but you know, didn't start hitting shows and movies until, you know, I started auditioning and I was ready to go, you know. So I think about being passionate about the work is how I got to where I am. Yeah.
Well, I'm one of the very rare, blessed few that started out as a dancer. And I was a dance teacher, and I heard about a small audition to be a backup dancer, kind of like the Jennifer Lopez story. And I went to the audition, and the director saw me and saw on my resume that I had done some acting and singing as well, and auditioned for the part, 1 out of 500 girls. So just really blessed.
I came to America with pretty much a few $100s and worked as a housekeeper and wanted the American dream. And, you know, anybody can have the American dream. It's the greatest country in the world by far. You just have to be focused and know what you want and take action and be willing to fail. You must be willing to fail, otherwise you don't have any chance. And, you know, it is just the greatest opportunity in the world to be in the United States of America. That's why so many people come here. Like I emigrated here because of the American dream. Yeah, there's many paths that lead to places, and, you know, I'm just really grateful that I had the opportunity to be here, you know, from selling t-shirts on the beach to cleaning people's houses to, you know, really living the American dream. And I'm just extremely grateful to be an American.
At ExploreTalent.com. ExploreTalent.com. ExploreTalent.com.
ExploreTalent.com.
ExploreTalent.com.